I got 1.6 million. Like not to, if you want to play the numbers game, because again, you let a person talk long enough, they'll tell you exactly what they think and feel. Although I appreciate, I think it was Miss Pugh that said it, or I wasn't really looking at the screen, but someone said that his problem was more so with Mr. Jones. No, he definitely had a personal issue with me, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that. He mentioned my platform size. He mentioned my accolades off this app. And then he mentioned not being scared of me, something another person did, because again, those feelings and emotions start rushing out when you get that pressure. I will acknowledge that I am pressure. I'm very intelligent. I'm very confident in who I am. It has nothing to do with arrogance. It has nothing to do with being pompous. It has nothing to do with being an asshole. All things that could very well seep out if, in fact, I allowed them to. But I check my own self regularly to ensure that I'm not mistreating people as a result of my intelligence and my experience in this thing we call life. So, in that, if my confidence offends your insecurity, you got to deal with that. So when you say things like, I'm not scared of you, when did I ask you to be scared of me? Just because you got a bigger platform than me. When did I mention platform size? Your accolades mean nothing. Big dog, who's comparing resumes?
It was
So,
when he, sorry, I just, 1 second. When he went, after you had already hit all the points, addressed everything, gave a quick apology within like 10 minutes of the live. It was when we had been up there for an hour and he got to the point where he's like, I'm not scared of you. Who do you think you are? I'm not scared of you and your big platform. And then he's like, hold up, I got you. And then he went to your profile and went to another video that he have a problem with. That's when I knew right there that he's there for clout. He called you
oh,
out
he
for
had that
clout.
video queued.
Facts.
He had that
He had
video
it ready.
queued up.
Ready.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Ready to go.
And the craziest part about that video that he showed, and this is the reason why, again, I'm a professional. I do this shit for real. It's called diversionary tactics. In that video, the context of that video specifically was me asking Black TikTok and the Black community on TikTok, what do they want from us as large content creators? Because we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. And sometimes when we address things, sometimes people will try to gaslight us as a result of us saying certain things about certain topics. So in that, I'm just like, he had that thing queued up, ready to go. You're asking us, what do we want from you? And then we tell you, and then you say we're internalized homophobia and transphobia. We don't have to accept that. So in my mind, I was like, ooh, got him. Let me dig deeper on that. I said, yes, that is internalized homophobia or transphobia. I said, because check this out. Even if I was influencing them to be a part of the community, what's the problem with that? And he paused because he knew I got him in that moment. Even if I was. So now you're attaching a negative stereotype onto an entire community that is internalized homophobia and transphobia. And he knew it. He not used to tangling with people like me. So what I did was, while he was talking and I was muted and I kept looking down, I was looking through his page. And I was looking through some of the back and forth that he had with other people. And he's used to people bowing to him. I bow to no man, no woman, no child, no person. God and the ancestors are the only people I bow to. Period. Now I can hold space, absolutely, but I'm never. We human, bro. You put your pants on the same way I put my pants on. You put your sneakers on the same way I put my sneakers on, and I'll be damned. Fuck being a man as a person. I'm a bow to you. And again, the reason why I kept cutting him off is because I realized he was trying to get content. After I had already addressed every single point and he kept going back through it, I recognized you trying to get content. Now I'm going to disrupt everything that you got to say. That way your content is fucked up. So if you go ahead and post it, do know that my voice is over it too.
Go ahead, Amara. Damn it, I can't say your name.
Omara.
Amara.
No, I was just saying, like, I feel like people need to learn the difference between speaking for someone and then speaking up for someone. There's a major
Facts.
difference in that too. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you, Javon. I appreciate people who speak up for people like me. I'm a lesbian. You know what I mean? But I want to, also, like, I felt Kim's pain, last night. That really bothered me because I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those people that get offended by the word, carpet munger. I hate that. I feel like that is such a horrible slur to put towards anybody, period. Like, and this is not to compare, heterosexuals to, the LGBT community, but it's like, you don't hear heterosexuals being called any of those type names. It's always us.
You're right. You're right, Queen. It's not a comparison. It's a fact.
Right. And so to hear that, and then I got frustrated so bad. So I was like, I really appreciate you, speaking up for Patrick, because not only did you speak up for Patrick, and I know he's your brother, but you spoke up for everybody who heard that term and got offended. Because I was one of those people that got offended by that.
Absolutely.
I don't, I don't get in, the drama. I do support you guys because I've learned so much from all of you. I Speak, Ebony, Aunt Karen, Patrick, Javon, everybody. I've learned several. But it was just like, I'm glad.
Shelby, deep sea diving.
I'm just saying, as a person who is not within this,
I'm outside. I'm
speaking up for us, not speaking for us, but speaking up. Major difference.
Right, absolutely. And to be honest with you, I do walk a fine line, especially when it comes to holding space for conversations that reach that level. And I recognize that, just like Pat said, the point that he made in the beginning was very valid. And I did not bring any contention toward that. But the part that so it was a 3-tiered disrespectful statement. The first tier was him telling Pat that he wasn't, they needed full representation and not partial. That part fucked me up, because it's just like, okay, he's still part of the community. So you don't just get to invalidate him because he's not a gay man. That's number one. I'm not going to repeat the second statement. We already, kind of hashed through that. That pissed me all the way off. And then to follow up with, as I'm checking him on it, he tells me, oh, respectfully, you're not a part of my community, so you don't get a say. Bitch, I'll punch you in your shit. Man to man. You got me fucked up. You gonna come on my platform and tell me I don't have a place to speak because I don't have a seat at your table? I'm not vying for a seat at your table at all. And not once did I ever try and do that, because I made it very, that's why I was like, again, I know, just like Pat said, a lot of the stuff that happens on this app, it will never happen in real life. They look at us, they get that battery in their back because, and apparently also too, I found out that he was off the liquor too. So somebody messaged me on Instagram.
Yeah, he was drinking straight shot on
That's
ice,
why
bro.
I brought it up. Yeah, that's why I brought it up, because one of his friends messaged me on Instagram, that's a supporter of mine, and was like, yo, respectfully, I fuck with you, bro, but he's not in his right state of mind right now. And it's like, what you mean? It was like, he is drunk. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now I get it. I know for me, when I get drunk, I get more intelligent. So everybody handle their liquor a little differently. And I start, gaining access to words I didn't know that I knew. And, I'm just the real, let's have deep ass conversation when I get drunk. As opposed to, you got some criers, you got some that get super aggressive, and
I'm
things
a crier.
like that.
Listen,
You're definitely Eb is definitely a crier.
When I drink, I get real disingenuous. When I get real disingenuous, cause like dead ass, B.
Respectfully.
But on a serious note, like yeah, okay, you was drunk, so you know that same old saying, right? When you drink, the truth comes out.
Yep.
Oh, he was holding that in. He compared to him, he thinks I'm just a bum. Oh, you live in a 2-bedroom apartment and people.
Yeah. Again.
Like, why does everybody keep talking about money? Or the young lady who did 24 years in the military, I forgot her name, did the same thing. Why are y'all talking about money? Yeah, why are you talking about?
Yeah, that was weird. That came out of nowhere.
Like, can you imagine? You have a 6-bedroom house. You have a stainless steel fridge. You got a beautiful family, a beautiful husband with a big old between his pants. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 3 kids and a beautiful woman, and I'm literally changing the world every single day because of this big ass mouth in this small ass apartment. What does that say about you being in your big ass house?
I don't understand what's wrong with public assistance if you need it.
But I'm not even on public assistance.
That
I just have
also, oh, I'm sorry.
No, baby, go ahead. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just thought that was another statement that bothered me, because there's nothing wrong with being on public assistance, especially if you need it.
And see, again, you let a person talk long enough, they'll tell you exactly what they think and feel. He came up thinking that he was running shit, and I let him know, you got me fucked up. Then I dropped him. Then he came back up, was not doing what I asked him to do, dropped him again. When you on somebody else's platform, you play by their rules, regardless of whether you want to or not. to a degree,
What?
because I'm gonna be me regardless of what space I'm in, period.
All right, fine.
But at the same time, the statement that he made, again, it let me know that those things were living deep down inside the depths of his soul, and he was waiting to say them. Because as soon as he got off the live, it was F everybody in the box except for Eb. And I don't know what it is that Eb, did to make him feel comfortable, but she didn't catch that smoke like the rest of us
Well,
did.
because y'all got to keep in mind, when I came in, I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
I was like lost, and I was like, oh shit. So I kind of came in the middle, and I didn't, I guess get to say much.
Yeah, so when he made that statement, Omar, I literally thought the same thing. And even if he was, what's the problem with that? And that's what they're not prepared for. They're so used to using it as an insult. But see, one thing you're taught in debate is to substantiate your argument. Okay, you're living better than he's living. Okay, he's on public assistance. What's the problem with him being on public assistance? And
but I'm not.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So when he came back and you were like, I'm not on, government sub. And then he tried to say, I'm on government subsidy. I live in base housing. It's afforded to me being in the military. Like what?
What's Ant's gonna say? What Ant's gonna say no to a free house while he's serving the country? What? Like I'm
a flex. I got 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a 2,400 square foot home with a nice backyard. Bitch, the government own this shit.
I feel like the thing that bothers me the most when there are disagreements online, right?
Mm-hmm.
People take it to personal things. Like, I try to stick to, I know all of us for the most part, we stick to your words, what you've said, and the impact of such. Like
Right.
me talking about somebody's house, somebody's looks, things like that are not the first thing I would bring up when talking to somebody. And it's really disheartening because when they say those things, I feel like you felt like that the whole time anyway.
Yeah. Because they can't best you intellectually. So they got to go to personal insults. That
or
shows
a
lack of emotional intelligence. They already feel pressure because they feel inferior to you. That's why he had to make that declaration. I'm not scared of you. I ain't never said you had to be scared of me. We just have an intellectual discourse, or at least what I thought was intellectual discourse, until I realized that you don't
about that
match
intellectual.
Up. And then for Buddy to call him an intellectual giant, that just tickled my fancy.
It's just also the dehumanizing of people and their platforms. Like I literally say this all the time. The fact that he thought to say, I'm not scared of you or things like that. Like, come on now.
You think your accolades mean something over here? My accolades carry me everywhere I go. Like, what? There we go. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. Yep, that's facts. That is facts.
I have a question. Why is it that we keep going to these people? Why do they never come to us? I don't get it.
Clout, bro. There's something that I learned last night. There is value in your presence. And it's not from an arrogant standpoint. It's in understanding. Even when my phone, so my phone glitched out. I did not know it was over 1,000 people in his space. I didn't know that. So in that, I'm going to act the same way that I am with 1,000 people and with 99 people, because right is right and wrong is wrong. And it made more sense to me on my live when y'all was like, no, bro, it was over 1,000 people in there. When I first hopped in that live, there were 50 people in there. His tone was calm, cool, collected. He was square to the camera. The moment those numbers started shooting up and it glitched out for me, that is when he turned away from the camera and went catacorner to the screen. I knew at that moment he was uncomfortable. And I said, yes, I got him. Now I'm finna light you up. Because when they're comfortable, they'll just say anything. They'll just literally say anything. And then as soon as he cut the comments off and those numbers start shooting up more, that made more sense to me why he got that battery in his back, so to speak, and continued saying the things that he was saying. And it turned into a cyclical argument to the point where he kept on reiterating the same thing over and over and over again. And this is what I recognized. I'm not going to fight him with my own words. I'm going to fight him with his own words. And he don't realize that whole time he was arguing with me, he was technically arguing with himself. Because the points that I would retort with were things that he said previously in the live, just to make him see how stupid he sounded. And you're disingenuous. I'm like, no, I'm not, because I'm giving you your words. I'm literally giving you your words. And when he recognized that, that's when he started bringing up more people.
Well, because he'd say something and then you'd reply using his literally what he said. And then it's like, I didn't say that. When did I say that?
Right. Well, I'm going to download the live. You don't have to. All I need to get is that one part about him saying that I'm trying to push an agenda. And that's enough for me. Everything else is one of those things what's understood and got to be explained. It was over 1,000 people in his space. It was over 1,000 people in mine. Enough people saw that. I'm not making no videos about that. But I am going to re-download that live so I can skip forward to the point where he talked about an agenda. Because that's what the true intention of that entire thing was. He had a personal issue with me, and he had cishet men around him that are internally homophobic and transphobic and feel as though that I'm pushing some sort of agenda. What up, cuz? Pushing some sort of agenda to make all black men part of the community. When the reality is that even that assumption, as if to say that gay men, bisexual men, trans men, asexual, pansexual, etc., even want him in the first place, was a misnomer in and of itself. And the arrogance that you have to assume such. I don't just walk into a space assuming that anything other than a cishet woman wants me. Now, if I get a compliment from a gay man, shit, I ain't gonna cap. Hey, I'd straighten my shoulders up. You know what I'm saying? Poke my chest out a little bit. You know what I mean?
For real, it's forever a flex. Period.
Straight up. You know what I'm saying?
It's a flex.
Because when you're not wearing that shit, they gonna tell you.
Well, and in my honest opinion, and this is going to be a little hard for you guys to hear, but the fact that we're sitting up here talking about it right now is very disingenuous.
Oh my God! All right, y'all. I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
I'm heading out myself too. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to these wonderful people and yourself, Patrick. I see you.
You're welcome. See you.
Bye, yeah.
Oh, also too, I am still the finest sibling.
I'm dead. I was kind of hoping that homie would sober up and hop in the box, but you know what? I already know what's going to happen. He's going to host his own live. He's going to sit and talk about all the problematic things Patrick.Jeanty used to do back in February. We already know what's going to happen. So I just
you mean February? In the community?
I'm just saying.
That motherfucker want to come out with a coloring book. You know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with y'all.
I was waiting for him for y'all to do a live today.
Hold on, Sade. Yes, I'm speaking on Karlos. I mean, like I said, he can come here. I'm definitely not going to his space because this whole Ebony's right. This whole going to people's pages and giving them views and shit just to have them sit here and lie and disrespect us. I'm done and over with that shit. I'll get it back though. I'm so done with that. I'm so done with that. I can't do it anymore.
I would like to shout out Sade as well.
Of course you will.
That's it. That's all.
Good bag, yeah. All right, y'all. I actually have to end the live because I have to join an important phone call, so I'll be back on.